I just got home and I got these empty caulk tubes. These should work great. One thing I didn't think about is how to refill them over and over again. Once I fill it up and use it, that plug will be stuck down in there. And I should have ordered like a couple dozen so I could just throw them away, but I didn't want to have a ton of them if they didn't work. I think they're going to work great, but I think I will figure out some kind of way to push that plug back out after I use one so I can keep refilling it. And I think I'm going to use my grout bag to fill those up with grout tomorrow, so I'm excited to try it out. All right, so today's task is to grout these 3D tiles. And I've got these empty caulk tubes that I got off of Amazon. I'm going to try filling them with grout and just applying it into the lines. I think that part will be pretty straightforward. The part I'm worried about is being able to pop this cap or this plug back out after I use these. I've only got 3. I should have ordered a dozen just so I didn't have to reuse them. But I think I got this dowel, and I think I'll be able to push the plug back out when I'm done. Had some other ideas, like somebody told me to drill a hole in there and put a washer in there with a string and pull it out. I may try that. Someone mentioned maybe gluing this to the plunger on my caulk gun. May try that. I think I'm going to just try this for now. So here we go. Alright, so I've got a very small batch of FA mixed up. I got it in this grout bag. Grout bags give me PTSD ever since grouting that thin brick wine cellar a few years back, but I'll probably survive. Now I'm going to transfer it into this caulk tube with the grout bag. Seems like a lot of hassle, and it might end up being more hassle than it's worth. Maybe at the end of the day, I'll just say, you know what, I should have just grouted it with a grout flow in my finger, but I like to experiment, so let's see how it goes. There we go, got one tube up, and put the cap on it. And then we'll tap it to get that air bubble from the bottom up to the top, so we can get rid of the air in there. Should be good to go. Let's see. All right, ready for action. Here we go. 16th inch grout joints, just a tiny little bead. I think this is going to work fantastic. I think my biggest issue today is going to be reloading these caulk tubes, but you know, whatever. And then my good pal Dayton Morton suggested using this caulking tool, and since I don't use it for you know, caulking, I might as well use it for this. It's funny because this is basically just your finger. Actually, the finger works better, but thank you, Dayton, for the recommendation. So I'm going to get as far as I can with the tube, and hopefully this will be a pretty easy day. All right, so one tube full got me from the ceiling down to here. So I figure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 refills. Should be good. That was surprisingly easy. I mean, it took me a couple minutes. Now I'm just going to go down with my finger and tool those joints. And fortunately this tile cleans pretty easy. I'm just trying to keep the grout off of the 3-dimensional part, but yeah, so far so good. I think the only issue I might run into is refilling those, but whatever. So that was kind of a pain in the ass, but it did work. I got a wood dowel and just punched that thing out. It took a lot of work and finesse, but it worked, so I think we're good. Okay, so far this is working awesome. The weak link in the system is the grout bag. The problem I'm running into is once that FA is inside that grout bag and trapped, it gets super hot and it fires off really quick. So I just had to waste the rest of that grout bag full because it was hard. had to clean it out. So I think the move is to just transfer it directly from the bucket to the caulk tube, veto the grout bag somehow. Because that FA didn't give me nearly as much working time as it normally does. So I'm gonna go clean what I did, reassess, and keep moving. But yeah, so far this is working great. One thing I did underestimate is how fast this grout would dry on here, and what a pain it would be to scrub off. So, but I like scrubbing, so not a big deal, just gotta work fast. Elbow grease is what they call it. All right, so after cleaning these with a sponge, I'm taking a microfiber and my finger and just, or the side of my hand, and just tooling those joints like that. For the next batch, I'm gonna mix a way smaller batch and only do about 3 rows at a time, and then clean it completely. This tile is so thirsty, it really just fired off quick on there, so it's taking more scrubbing than I'd like, but it's all good. Figuring it out, still got a lot left to do, so plenty of time to hone the process. All right, grout bag has been replaced. Too high maintenance, causes me stress, gives me PTSD, you know the type. So we're going disposable, Ziploc, one-time use. Squirt that in there, throw it away, done. All right, so there's definitely a learning curve to this process, but I'm getting the hang of it. So I mixed it up a lot runnier this time, filled up 3 bottles. The crux of this is refilling these and the time it kills. Once the grout's in here, it heats up really quickly. So you get it in there, you gotta work quick. And then between each batch, I mean, I have to clean everything out. But that wall's done, you know, a couple hours, went pretty good. It's not perfect, I got a few little things to touch up, but so these 3 here should finish this wall, and then maybe one more batch under there. But yeah, definitely a learning curve, but it is working. Maybe not the most efficient way. Probably could have just used a float and saved myself some hassle, but that would be a pain to get it in all those joints as well. So good enough, it's working, I'm happy. Well, I am done, and I am glad that's over. It's really a pain in the ass, but I'm happy with it. I think it looks good, and I'm done with this job, hopefully forever. It's been a fun project, but happy to be moving on.
Morning. So I ordered these empty caulk tubes on Amazon Prime to attempt to grout this 3D tile today, and they were supposed to come by 6 a.m. and they didn't, and now it's saying they won't be here until tonight. So I'm super bummed, you know. I was really hoping to try that today, so I'm gonna have to try some different alternatives. I've got some frosting bags, I've got a grout bag. I was really excited to try the caulk tubes because it's something I've always thought of doing and never have, and I've always wanted to. But yeah, we've been spoiled by Amazon Prime. When I was 17, I ordered this magic mushroom growing kit out of High Times magazine. And back in the 90s, you didn't have, like, you know, the internet, or I didn't even have a debit card. So you basically, to order something out of a magazine, you have to go to grocery store or the bank or whatever and get a money order. And if you don't know what a money order is, that's when you pay cash to the lady at the grocery store, and she basically writes out a little check with like a carbon copy underneath it. And so she writes it out to like Acme mushroom growing kit or whatever, which is super suspicious to begin with. And then you take that money order and you mail it. You have to buy a stamp and an envelope, write the address on there, send it off, and you don't know when you're gonna get it. You don't even know if you're gonna get it. You don't even know if Acme Mushroom Growing Kit Company is gonna receive your money order because there's no way to track it. So you just wait, and you gotta be pretty vigilant as a 17-year-old about checking the mail every day before your parents do, or your siblings, because if they get home before you do and get the mail, they're gonna open that box and see that you ordered a magic mushroom growing kit, and that is gonna open a whole different can of worms that you don't want to open. So Anyway, the point being is Amazon Prime let me down, and I am super bummed. So I've got a grout bag, and I'll just have to make do. I have these frosting bags too, but I think they're too dinky. About 15 years ago, I did use my wife's Pampered Chef. She had this like frosting gun thing because she was waiting a Pampered Chef, and it was like $100. Well, I used it to grout some super like decorative glass inlay pieces, and it worked awesome, but it ruined her frosting gun, and I had to buy her a new one, and she was pissed. So I wish I still had that, and I wish there was a Pampered Chef store, because I'd go buy one right now. I'd spend $100 to get one just because it worked so good. But anyway, that's how my morning's going. It's all good. Just you know, reminds me of my younger days as a contractor, driving around to every store in town to find some random thing that I had this harebrained idea that I should use. But now with everything at our fingertips, it's just so easy to just order it. But Amazon let me down. Jeff Bezos needs to really get on top of things, because I needed those empty caulk tubes by 6 a.m. this morning, not by 9 p.m. tonight. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day.